pleasant good evening to you as we welcome you into Adena High School here in Frankfort, Ohio. Dewey Daly and Shane Combs, glad you could join us for tonight's SVC volleyball matchup between the Adena Warriors and the Unioto Sherman Tank. Shane, it's been a little while since we've hooked up on one of these. I think it was last year around volleyball time when we hooked up for a game. It's nice to be back, and what a game to hook up for.
No question about it. It is good to be back with you. I appreciate you having me this evening. I love SVC volleyball. I love the growth as I've, in the last decade on the basketball side, gotten into a lot of girls basketball coaching and stuff. To see the girls' sports continue to grow and get covered the way they do is a really cool thing. I got thinking last night, a lot of sports fans will probably end up seeing the Nebraska thing where they had 92,000 for a college volleyball game there. That was just such a cool atmosphere, and it got me thinking in terms of how much the sport of volleyball has grown, and here in the Chillicothe area, it's been no different here in the Ross County area. And SVC volleyball has certainly always been right at the core of that. So I think we're in for a really good one tonight. Second
league matchup for both of these teams coming in to this Thursday night showdown. For Unioto, it was a 3-2 win over Westfall. For Adena, a 3-1 win over Southeastern. Shane, I know you and Mike were here for the Saturday morning game between Adena and South Webster. What did you see from the Warriors in that matchup on Saturday?
Well, I think I saw a lot of typical first match, especially when you play an elite opponent. I think from a coach's perspective, like any first match, you certainly have a lot to take away positive, and then I'm sure there's some things on the film you pick at. Anytime you go up 2-0, you hate to lose the match. But early in the year, I think it's something that Adena can learn from. They're trying some different things throughout their rotation, and some kids that certainly have varsity experience, but maybe playing in some different roles. And sometimes sport like volleyball with chemistry involved, that takes a little time to iron out. But when you open with South Webster and then you come back into SVC play the following week, you don't have a whole lot of time to figure it out.
And then for Adena, in that loss to South Webster, won the first two sets, was leading 2-0, and also in the Southeastern match, which they won 3-1, was also leading 2-0, though. It's kind of been the opposite for Unioto. In the 3-1 win against Logan Elm, they lost the first set. For Chillicothe, they trailed 2-0 after the first two, and then was actually trailing Westfall in their previous game 2-1. So in terms of starting out, what do you expect to see here in the first couple sets of tonight's match?
Well, it's interesting. I had a chance to see Unioto in the Chillicothe match, and that was an incredible atmosphere. Give Chillicothe kids a lot of credit. Their students were into it. The girls were playing really hard. It was their opening night, I believe, and it was Unioto's second match. And Chillicothe just, quite frankly, came out and just played harder than them. But to Unioto's credit, as you're calling the game tonight, throughout the match, SVC volleyball fans are going to hear a lot of familiar names on the Unioto side. So to their credit, they settled in. They continued to play. The Daniels girl really sparked them in that third set. I think it was 16-0 with her serve, and then the entire momentum of the match flipped, and they went on the win. But I don't know that you'll have that luxury tonight against this level of opponent. So I expect both teams, even through some of the butterflies of the big match here on the big atmosphere, I expect both teams to settle in and play at a higher level much earlier.
And one thing you'll see when you watch both of these squads is how deep they are and how many players they play with. We were talking pregame about how last year Wheelersburg really only played with 6 players, and then you look at teams like this and they have double digits that roll out there every night. How important is depth in terms of success when you look at volleyball?
Well, it's hard to say. Some people will talk about you break a little of the rhythm and the timing and the different things. The more moving parts, the more things that can go wrong. Yeah, look, I don't know if one thing's true over the other. What I do know, both of these teams are really, really complete. There's not very many holes throughout their rotation. They pass it pretty well, they set it pretty well, they hit it pretty well, they block it pretty well. Across the board, they're pretty complete. So I think you'll find throughout the night that the efficiency will be a big thing. A lot of times what I've seen when things have gone wrong for these two teams early going, it's been a little bit of their own fault, if that makes sense. Not to take anything away from their opponents, but missing serves, some hitting errors, some different things, timing issues, and now that we're to this stage here, I'm not saying anyone's looking over opponents early in the year, but let's face it, human nature is when this type of game is on the schedule this early in the year, you have a tendency to peek ahead, right? In sports, we call them those trap games, and I think both of these teams faced a little bit of that earlier in the week, and I really do. I expect them both to come out and play at a real high level.
One thing I picked up listening to you and Mike on Saturday was talking about how different of a look is when going against lefties. Obviously for Unioto, you have Morgan Daniels, and then I believe it was Mia Crum for South Webster, who is also left-handed. How does that affect, receiving a serve or receiving even a swing when it's coming off of a left hand?
It's interesting because we were talking that day more about at the net more than anything, getting on the other shoulder on your block and things. With Daniels being more in the back row, I don't know if it's as big a factor. Certainly on the serve, that could have some different action on the ball. But yeah, definitely at the net that particular day, I thought that was an adjustment Adena had to make, and they did. So that'll be something. Now, I will say this about net play tonight. Unioto has some incredible size, and Adena plays with a lot of pace. If Unioto is able to slow them down, I think Unioto's size at the net could be a real factor in this match. But if Adena's able to pass it and set it cleanly, and they're able to play with some pace, I think they can offset that a little bit.
Coming up for the Labor Day weekend, both teams will play in invitational matches. For Unioto, they'll actually be hosting their own Unioto Invitational. And then for Adena, they'll head to the Lehman Invitational. We were talking about how impressive teams are there and how many teams at these invitationals end up going on regional and state runs. Do you want to talk a little bit about that?
I know through all the years following SVC volleyball and so forth, there'll be a lot of people that joke that are saying that Adena this weekend's going and playing in the first state tournament of the year. It's just one of those fields that really goes to a high level, and Adena's always went and had the ability to travel a little bit on the weekends, and you'll see that on their Saturday schedule, and they're certainly not afraid to test themselves, and that's helped them push themselves to that regional and some years Final Four level.
Just under 30 seconds before we start. I think the national anthem comes first, and then we'll have the player introduction. So we'll step aside for a quick break. You're watching Ohio High School Volleyball on Southern Ohio Sports Authority, presented by OhioHealth.
At OhioHealth, you can see your doctor here or here, on this or on these. And no matter if you're over here, over there, or anywhere in between, you'll feel good knowing OhioHealth provides the finest care anywhere. Schedule care today at ohiohealth.com/finestcare.
Here at Glockner's, we know how valuable your time is, and that's why our priority is to provide you a quick and easy service. We will get you in and out and on your way immediately. So schedule your next service appointment at Glockner.com.
So as we get ready for the player introductions here before tonight's SVC matchup, Shane, I know you've kind of made your rounds a little bit through the first round of, not really the first round, but the first set of SVC matchups here in 2023. Outside of these two teams, what have you seen so far here early in this season?
Well, the first thing that jumped out at me Tuesday night was just maybe some of the unexpected parity throughout the league. You think about it, every Tuesday, Thursday with the 4 SVC matches, you have a maximum of 20 sets of volleyball can be played. And let's face it, most nights are going to be closer to 12, 13, 14 sets. The other night, if my math's correct, we had 18. I think we had 2 5-setters and 2 4-setters, right? So that's the first thing that jumped out at me. And I had a chance to see Huntington play. They have a really nice 1-2 punch with Henshaw and Carroll. They're really, really impressive, but give Zane Trace credit in that. Zane Trace is really, really big, really long at the net. They do a nice job. Hedinger there at the net. Defensively is a factor. And so they were way ahead of where I expected them to be when you consider what they lost a year ago. Give Southeastern a lot of credit with the way they played. You mentioned it in your opening there, where they battled back and got a set from Adena. I was real impressed with Westfall. Westfall's really good at setter. The Clark girl at the net's really athletic. So they had ended up giving Unioto everything they wanted the other night, from what I understand. And then Pike to Payne Valley playing the 4-setter. So it's exciting. Look, I mean, every night, especially when you come on the road, you never know what you're going to get. Volleyball's hard for the upset. Have you ever noticed that? Like, it's a situation where, and I think a lot of it in the 3 out of 5 format comes from, and I've said this before, if you come out in baseball, like you and I are big baseball guys, you come out in baseball and you go up 5-0 in the first inning, well, when the second inning starts, it's still 5-0. You know? So, like, if a team comes out here and the nerves get the best of them and they lose 25-9, they're going to clear the score, and then they're going to play set 2, and you got to do it again and again. So I think a lot of times throughout the course of the night, the better volleyball team wins. And I think that's why you get less and less of those upsets. It's just like the other night, some teams getting pushed 4 and 5 sets, but not going on to win.
Moments away here from tonight's SVC matchup between the Unioto Shermans and the Adena Warriors. Unioto still undefeated on this young season, 3-0 overall, 1-0 in the SVC. Wins over Logan Elm, Chillicothe, and Westfall. For Adena, 1-1, 1-0 in the SVC. Opening day loss to a very, very good South Webster team, and then a 3-1 win in their first league matchup against Southeastern.
Getting the final lineup checks here from the down official. We're about ready to get this thing going. Really, really neat atmosphere here tonight. Really packed on this one side that they pull out here at Adena.
Bossert to get things going here, and we are underway. This one is long, and Unioto starts out on top 1-0 on the long serve from Bossert.
Yeah, trying to hit the back line there, going deep with the first serve. Maybe a little bit of that adrenaline in the big match that we talked about early on, and the thing sells long on her.
Serve from Wetzel. Dug up by the Warriors down the middle. It's Preston who gets the kill for Adena.
Nice adjustment. There was a little bit of timing issue there, but she was able to hang in the air and fine. But I noticed Unioto really getting the double block there. Preston had a big Saturday afternoon against South Webster when I watched Adena play last.
Kruger back to serve for the Warriors. This one dug up by Daniels. Now another dig up the middle. It'll be lost by the Shermans, and Adena now out in front 2-1.
A little bit of jitters on both sides here. You've seen it in the service game a little bit, in the passing game that time, but a little bit of the pass off target and the block able. You'll see both teams settle in here, I think, as the butterflies go away.
Kruger to serve once again, 2-1 lead for Unioto. Back set from Wetzel. That's cut right on the far line, dug up by the Warriors. On the other side, that's Burns going for the kill, blocked at the net. Have net interference on the Shermans, tied up at 2 apiece.
It's interesting as they move through their rotation there on that first ball over, cut right will hit out of the backside. Adena holding their double block there, expecting the ball to go there, and then Unioto eventually winning the point.
Cut right to serve, this one wide right. Now 3-2 Adena. Townsend to serve for Adena. This one dug up by the libero Daniels, set from Wetzel to the near line. That's Stewart in the net. Point goes to the Warriors.
Townsend had 4 aces in their win against Southeastern the other night. Did a nice job serving for the Lady Warriors.
Townsend serve on the way, long of the back line, 4-3 Adena.
Well, again, a little bit of what I'm talking about. We're 7 total points in. About half of those have come off just some service errors or some basic mistakes that I think will go away as the match moves on here.
Down the middle, that's Burns going for the kill. Kept alive by Miller. Near line shot from Stewart is blocked at the net. Kept alive by Unioto. Back set to Marshall. This one tipped around, kept alive by Bossert. Now tipped over by McFerrin. We'll have a point to Unioto.
Yeah, just got a little crowded there on Adena, unable to pass on target, and it just a little timing mistake.
Bossert with a dig. Townsend a back set to Preston. This one out of bounds. Point to Unioto.
Yeah, I mentioned a little bit of some of the different combinations Adena's running with this year, and some of that early in the year does affect some chemistry and some timing. I will say Townsend and Preston seem to be probably the most advanced in terms of chemistry the first time I'd watched them.
Set from Townsend, poked over by McFerrin, kept alive by Unioto. Tip over by Detweiler, and that'll get the kill for Unioto.
See here, if Adena's serve receive can get a pass on target, Adena hasn't really been able to go on the attack much yet.
Serve from Park, tight to the net. Back set from Townsend, kill attempt by Preston, and she'll get the kill for the Warriors.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about there. What you're looking for in serve receive is that pass on target is kind of like the quarterback getting to stand in the pocket. You know, they're able to look the floor over and deliver the ball where it needs to. Another service mistake.
Spett back to serve for Unioto. Dig from Burns. Townsend is set over on the second touch. Back set to Stoley. It's tipped back over by Adena. Nice play by Bossert, set from Townsend over to Burns, goes for the kill, kept alive by Miller, set from Spett now to Stewart. Bossert with a dig, Townsend today, and she'll get the kill. No, it'll be Unioto's point.
There for a minute, some of the best volleyball we've seen in the early going here, and that time I think Townsend was expecting the middle to come on top the setter, and Dave looked to space a little bit, and again, just a little bit of a miscommunication.
Nine to 5 lead for Unioto. Spett to serve, and she'll get an ace. Timeout, Adena.
Yeah, we had mentioned on Saturday that there was a situation right around that third set that South Webster seemed to find something in the Adena serve receive that they could pick on a little bit, and it's really where the match started to turn. And early on, it's interesting to see Unioto. They've missed some serves. Both sides have. I think Adena's missed 3 serves already. Unioto's missed, I believe, 1. But if Unioto's able to hit their spot, I remember I talked about Adena playing with pace. And if Adena's unable to play with pace and they're unable to play accurate in terms of their passing and setting, that's where Unioto's size at the net's just going to be overwhelming. And I think that's been a little bit of the case so far, where Adena's just been out of system, but give Unioto some credit for that.
(10-5) lead for Unioto coming out of the break. Spett back to serve for the Shermans. Dig from Bossert, back set from Townsend. That's Burns on the kill attempt, kept alive by Unioto. Stoley will free ball it back over. Down the middle, Day's kill attempt is dug up by Miller. Now back over to the Warriors. Here's Day once again. Miller kept alive, but will lose control of it. Point goes to the Warriors.
Good defense from Speck and some of the back row there for Unioto on the first couple, but Adena kept coming, and there's a great example of what I'm talking about. That was one of Adena's cleanest volleys of the evening so far, results in the kill.
Sowers back to serve for Adena. Dig for Miller, set from Sped here. Stoley on the kill, gets it to go.
Great job of Detweiler going hard in the middle. It ended up freezing the block there and ended up giving a teammate a free net.
Stewart to serve for Unioto. Dig from Sowers. Set from Townsend now. Kill attempt from Adena will fall. Miscommunication for Unioto.
Looked like Day out of the middle there.
Set from Sped to the near line. That's cut right on the kill, kept alive by the Warriors. They have a net violation on Adena.
That's always an interesting thing you have to read. It's no different than telling a pitcher in baseball or catcher in baseball to adjust to the strike zone if it's consistent all night. Well, a lot of these teams see that later into the year in tournament, and we've always said we need that more in our area.
Ace from the left-handed Daniels. Lead is now up to 6 for Unioto.
Each time I've watched Unioto in the early going, she's had one big-time run that's really sparked her team.
Dig from Bossert, set from Bossert. This one blocked at the net. Townsend trying to tip it over, can't make contact. Point will go to Unioto.
Something I really want the viewers to take a look at the net. Again, some of the size advantage of Unioto. I don't love Adena's tight set is when they have to go that high. I'd like to see them get it off the net and give their hitters a little bit more of an angle.
Free ball from the Warriors. Pass from Daniels now down the middle. It's Park, kept alive by Bossert. Day a roll shot. Unioto keeps it alive. Stoley another roll shot for Unioto. Down the middle, here's Day. Blocked at the net, but it's able to get to the other side. Point goes to Adena.
Nice effort all the way around there on both teams. I still think they're settling in a little bit. I don't know if you're seeing it the same way. Just some nervous energy still here early in the match.
Back set to the outside. That's Stoley. Adena answers back on the second hit. To the outside. Kruger with the kill attempt. Gets it to fall.
Yeah, Kruger's one of the real efficient hitters in our league. She doesn't get quite as many swings as 2 or 3 of the other Lady Warriors, but you look at the stat sheet, she certainly does plenty with what she does get.
To the outside, Park. An attempted roll shot is in the net. Lead is now cut to 4.
Great example in terms of the serving. You get your direct aces, but a lot of times you get things that just do not lead to a good attack.
Bossert serve received by Cut right to the outside. Park will tip it back over. Back set to Stoley on the outside. Kill attempt is dug up by Bossert. Overpass is tipped back over by Unioto, who grabs the point 15-10.
Outstanding effort from Morgan Daniels there in the middle of that point to keep the ball alive, and then Unioto's able to win a point to go up 15-10 as a result. Great effort from the senior libero.
Wetzel back to serve. Down the middle, here's Preston. This one kept alive by Unioto. Set from Wetzel to the outside. That's cut right. Gets it to fall. 16-10.
You see a lot of the scouting report come to play here where, they know their tendency so well. A lot of times some of your fakes and some of your different actions don't work as well as maybe they would against some other opponent.
Strong serve from Wetzel is back of the back line. Now 16-11 Unioto. Kruger to serve. Serve from Kruger is dug up by West. Back set to Cutright on the far line is blocked at the net. Another attempt for Cutright. We'll wait for the ruling. We will have a net violation on Unioto. Gruber back to serve once again for Adena. 16-12 lead for Unioto. Dig from Daniels. Wetzel is set to the outside. That's Marshall, who gets the kill.
Nice job in serve receive there, getting on the attack. Marshall, again, another piece of that incredible Unioto depth we referred to in the pregame.
Cutright back to serve for Unioto. Dig from Bossard, set at the net by Townsend. Preston nearly able to get it to go. Nice save from Unioto. Ball being tipped around at the net, and the point will be awarded to Unioto. 18-12.
Caught a piece of the net there. I really liked the pace that Adena played with, and they were moving Preston around a little bit. Give Unioto's defense a lot of credit there.
Serve from Cutright, dig from Bossard. Townsend on the second tap will flip it over to the outside. Burns with the kill. It is blocked at the net. But we'll have another net violation on Unioto.
Again, some of those net violations, unforced errors on both sides. We've seen it on both sides, and again, a little bit of that's just that, a little bit anxious, just teams settling in here. You got to play a little bit more efficient.
Townsend serve tied to the net. Dig from Daniels, set to the outside from Wetzel. That's Stewart on the kill attempt. I believe a net violation on Adena.
Yeah, the actual
net violations.
Yeah, the actual kill attempts held long, but you're right. There was another net violation, which as a result of that gives her the kill statistically.
Park to serve for the Shermans. Set from Townsend to her right side to Preston, who will get the kill for Adena.
Townsend and Preston on the same page there. They've been moving Preston around there in the middle. She does a good job of coming and getting on top of her setter, and it gives them a lot of options to go quick.
Back set to, I believe that was Marshall on the outside. Kill attempt is out of play. 19-15 Unioto.
Yeah, we watched Marshall off the strong side a second ago. This time weak side, just settled a little long on her.
Roll shot from Stewart, kept alive by Adena. Burns' shot is blocked. Now to the outside. Day able to find a hole for the kill.
Great example there again of the pace. The first time through, Unioto sets the good block, but because Adena's able to come back at them so quickly, the block has trouble getting down, moving over, and resetting. And that time they're able to find an open net. Looks like we're running another timeout. Adena cuts it to 3.
19-16, Unioto leading here in set 1.
The pace is so important because, again, the Unioto size at the net, they present quite a challenge, particularly in the middle there. And Adena does as well. They have some good length. But the key is when Adena's able to play cleanly with the good pass to setter and they're able to go quick, you're seeing them move the ball up and down the net. You're seeing them utilize some different things in their middle. And that's where they're going to have the most success against Unioto. I don't think you just want to toss it up there to the net and hit into that block all night. I've always felt like Coach Hutton, and going back to his days at Southeastern and so forth, I've always felt like his teams do a really good job serving and a really good job blocking, and those are some things that he's really tried to push forward. We had another service error there.
Service error on Brinley Preston. Unioto the first team to 20 here in set 1.
Great opportunity for Unioto here at 2016 to get this opening set on the road.
Spetz serve is dug up by Bossard. Set from Townsend. Here's Day on the far line. Pass from Spett. Daniels will tip it back over. Down the middle, here's Day. Free ball over the net. Unioto the same. Townsend is set today, tips it over with the right hand, kept alive by Unioto. Here's Townsend to the outside, that's Burns, nice save from the libero Daniels, kept alive by Unioto. Here's a roll shot from Daniels. To the outside, Burns, another kill attempt, dug up from Miller. Stewart on the near line, gets the kill as the big attempt goes under the net.
Maybe overall Unioto's best play of the night, overall play of the night. I was real impressed with Daniels on that volley there. I'd like to see her take more and more control of taking some of those free balls, especially, and letting her hitters go get ready to hit.
(21-17) lead for Unioto now.
Great vision, little two-hand push, finds the back corner. Well done.
Sowers back to serve for the Warriors. Trailing by 4 here in set 1. Dig from Miller. Speta set to the near line. That's Stully. A violation on the Warriors. 22-17.
A lot of unforced stuff for Adena here in the opening set.
Stewart back to serve. Tipped it over by McFerrin. Tipped back over by Unioto, who grabs the point, 23-17.
Couldn't tell exactly. Detweiler was there, Cutright was there, and again, that's one of the things when you become predictable against Unioto and they're able to put that big block up, that's not going to end well.
Timeout Adena, their second of the set. Trailing 23-17 here in set 1.
I think the message in the Adena huddle would be to just calm down and settle in and take care of the things that you can control. I think there's been 3 or 4 missed serves. There's been, 3-4 net violations at least. So when you start looking up there at 23 points for Unioto's talent doesn't need any help. Unioto's talent's going to score plenty of points. So when you start scoring, 6, 7, 8 points for them in a particular set, that's going to be a set that's very, very difficult to win. You guys doing some football tomorrow night?
Waverly at Unioto.
That should be a good one.
Last non-league matchup for SVC schools in week 3. I believe the same can be said for Waverly as well. Stewart to serve, Unioto by 6 here in set 1. Down the middle, that's Day on the kill attempt, and she gets it to go.
Great job at the middle going to her setter. And again, when you do that, it just forces the block to make a decision. Then the outstanding setter play of Townsend, she's able to put it right on top for the quick, or she can push it outside. That time able to run some quick action with Day in the middle, and they get the kill.
23-18 now. Bossert back to serve. Set to the near line. That's Cutright. This one is out of play.
All starts with the serve receive. Not clean in the serve receive. That they don't really get what they want, even though they get one of their top hitters a swing. It's not really the swing and rhythm and from the placement that she wants, and it leads to the hitting error.
Dig from Daniels, set from Spatz, a back set to Stully. Set from Kruger down the middle, that's Day, tips it over with the right hand. Here's Spett to Cutright, not able to get it over the net. Point goes to Adena. No, we're gonna have a net error, or a net violation on Adena.
Adena had the block there, forced Cutright to have to adjust to the left hand. It was going to result in an Adena point, but again, Adena with the unforced error.
24-19 Unioto. Pass from Kruger. Here's a roll shot from the libero Bossert. Second shot is
she went all the way across the line there, yeah. (24-20) Unioto leading.
Bossert back to serve, receive from Cutright. Down the middle, Cutright on the kill, and Unioto will take set one.
Good start for Unioto. Come on the road, get a 25-20 win. In comparison to last week, I'm sure Coach Hutton much more pleased with the focus and the start for his Lady Shermans.
We'll take a quick break. You're watching Ohio High School Volleyball on Southern Ohio Sports Authority, presented by OhioHealth.
There's not a Parmar store near you now, there will be soon. That's the slogan, and that's what we believe at Parmar stores. From groceries to gas and all the other stuff you need, Parmar has it. Download the Parmar app for even more savings, and don't forget the Parmar Rewards Card too. We also believe in being a big part of your community, so look for us at the ball game or wherever you are. Shop us today, like us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and remember, if there's not a Parmar store near you now, there will be soon.
This presentation of high school sports on Southern Ohio Sports Authority is brought to you in part by your local McDonald's. McDonald's proudly supports all area athletes again this season. Visit your local McDonald's in Chillicothe, Circleville, Greenfield, and Waverly. And be sure to check out SOSA's newly relaunched podcast, Overtime, presented by McDonald's.
A 25-20 set one win for the Shermans. Shane, what did you see from Unioto here in set one that they really haven't had in two of their first three matches, as that's only their second time taking the first set?
Well, I just saw a little bit more energy, a little bit more effort. I think early in the year when I had a chance to see them, I thought that they lacked a little spark. I thought they lacked I don't want to say effort because I think kids are playing hard. But there's a difference between having some energy and a little bit of that extra pep in your step. And tonight I thought both teams were a little slow to start. I thought Unioto settled into the set much quicker, and I thought that was the difference in the second half of that opening set. Unioto started to get in better rhythm, started to move the ball around. Then, like I said, Adena continued to kind of to do it to themselves. With I think unofficially 4 or 5, I believe it was, net violations. I think I had them down for 3 service errors. So, I'm sure that's what Adena's talking about here. I think if you're Unioto, you want to continue to push right from the start. I think we talked about it before. The unique part of volleyball is where you start over every set. When teams do not handle winning or losing the correct way, that's where it can start to filter into that next set, and that's where it starts to take over the match.
Only the second time Unioto has won the first set in their 4 matches so far. Their second straight, however, lost the first 2 first sets to Logan Elm and Chillicothe, won the first set against Westfall, and now the first set here tonight for Adena, the first time in their first 3 matches that they've lost in the opening set.
I think that middle group of teams in the SVC is really going to be fun to follow. I think they're going to beat up on each other to the point where I don't know that they can, compete for a league title over 14 matches. But it wouldn't surprise me, based on what we've seen here in the early going, if on a given night one of them, kind of decides who does.
Westfall almost doing it to Unioto in their league opening matchup.
Great point. That's a great example, yeah.
So Daniel's going to get things going for us here in set 2. Serve is on the way. Dig from Kruger. Now Bossert over to Townsend. Will roll shot it over to Unioto. Set from Wetzel now. Cutright with the left hand. Don't see that too often. Townsend's shot is blocked and off of the stick. I can't remember the official name, but off the stick.
Yeah, that time on the way out, I think Cutright was expecting that off the net a little bit more. It got a little tight to her, and she had to go with the left hand and make the adjustment.
Now Kruger to serve for Adena, and she'll come away with an ace here in set number 2.
Good action, some late drop on the serve there. Adena really in need of a quick start here.
2-0 lead for the Warriors. Kruger back to serve once again. Dig from West, pass from Cutright. Free ball from Daniels. To the outside, that's Burns. Nice dig from Daniels, kept alive for Unioto. Have a violation on the Shermans. Point will go to Adena, 3-0.
You watch Kruger serve, she really does a good job of mixing up the types of serves.
Service received from West. Now cut right, tipping it over, kept alive by Adena. Here's Townsend on a kill attempt. This one is wide of the far line. Be the first point for Unioto here in set 2. Wetzel's serve is far, 4-1 lead for Adena.
Not a lot of mistakes for Unioto. Once we got out of that first 4 or 5 points of the first set, they've been pretty clean since.
Tight serve from Townsend. Kill attempt from Marshall. Could not get solid contact there. It'll be a 5-1 lead for Adena.
That might be my jinx again. I should probably publicly apologize to the Unioto JV team, because at 24-21 of the third set, I wrote down that Unioto won on my paper, because we get another ace there. And then Adena goes on to win 26-24. So I didn't technically say it, but I guess I'll tell on myself, and I did the announcer jinx on paper.
The silent jinx. 6-1, Adena. Townsend back to serve, receive from Stewart. Had a double touch on Unioto. The Shermans are going to take a timeout. 7-1 lead for Adena here in set number 2.
Well, again, just as we talked about Unioto in the first set, you're seeing it with Unioto here. And again, give Adena credit. You know, Kruger first, and then Townsend with some good serving, some good attacks. But a lot of those are simply what you would chart as unforced errors as a volleyball stat sheet. And those are the things you have to eliminate. I talk about in rally scoring all the time. I think far more matches are lost sometimes than they are won. You know what I mean? If you can go out and you can serve it clean and pass it clean and avoid some hitting errors, a lot of times the other team will score half the points for you. And that's what you're seeing a little bit here tonight, where some teams are having trouble just in some of their efficiency categories.
25-20 set 1 win for Unioto. Adena currently leading 7-1 here in set number 2. Townsend back to serve for the Warriors. This one kept alive for the time being. Wetzel able to get it back over on the free ball. Now down the middle, that's Preston just going to tap it over with the right hand. Now Wetzel down the middle for Unioto. This one is kept alive by Adena. Another back set from Wetzel, and that's Marshall on the kill for Unioto.
The Townsend serve really had Adena in an advantage situation early in the play, and then give Unioto credit. They get back in it. Just an outstanding set there from Wetzel. She gets Marshall the open net.
Cut right to serve for Unioto. To the outside, McFerrin, nice dig from Daniels. Now here's Stewart on the near line, kept alive by Adena. Townsend on the second tap, will flip it back over. Here's Stewart once again for Unioto. It's blocked at the net. That's Brinley Preston on the block. 8-2 lead for the Warriors.
Preston just playing hard, you know, didn't quite get the contact as clean as she wanted to throw it down, but to her credit, she was active and she stayed with it, and Adena out to an 8-2 advantage here.
Serve from Preston is tight to the net, receive from Stewart. Here's Marshall on the far line. This one kept alive by Adena. Day on the kill attempt. And she finds a gap in the defense. 9-2 lead for the Warriors.
Another open net opportunity for Adena. The Unioto block late to get there, and Day able to capitalize.
Unioto not able to get it back over off the serve from Preston. A 10-2 8-point lead here for Adena.
Yes, serve receive just breaking down there for Unioto.
Here's Wetzel, a back set to the far line. Marshall is blocked at the net. That's McFerrin and Day at the net with the block. Lead is up to 9. Preston to serve once again. This one blocked at the net, pushed over by Daniels, who finds a gap in the defense. 11-3 lead now for Adena. Lead is now cut to 8.
little bit of the overpass. Great job of Wetzel just competing to keep the ball in play, and then Daniels with some great vision with the two-hand push. Good clean serve receive from Balsert there. Gives Adena a chance to go on to attack, and the Lady Warriors really rolling here in the early going of this second set, up 12-3.
Sowers to serve for the Warriors, leading by 9. Here's Marshall with a free ball attempt. It gets caught up in the net. Lead is now up to 10.
This is the other thing to really watch here. You'd ask me what was some of the difference in Unioto in that first set. Things were going well, and you could see a little bit of pep in the step. If you see here a couple of the things adversity-wise start to go, I've just seen it a little bit in the body language and some of those things. Obviously, Adena playing extremely well, but that's where you've got to be able to shut down some of these runs. Someone's got to make a play.
There's a roll shot from Kruger is in the net. Lead is back down to 9 for Adena. 13-4 here in set number 2.
This particular rotation for Unioto was pretty successful in the first set. Let's see what we have here.
Kill from Day is kept alive by Unioto. Here's Stewart. Now down the middle. Day once again will get the kill for Adena. And just like that, the lead is back up to 10.
Great effort in the back row there. I think what Coach Hutton's talking about is the block's still just late to get there. When you start giving hitters like Day and Preston out of the middle an open net, that's just target practice on your back row. You've got to do something to help your back row there.
Speta set down the middle to Detweiler, kept alive by the Warriors, and give the point to Corinne Day.
Recognize Day from some of the first plays in the preview this year as one of the real breakout stars in the league, and I think she's going to really be a factor for Coach Smith this year.
Speta set down the middle. That's Stully on the attempt, kept alive by Adena. Townsend a roll shot, dig from Stewart. Here's Stully once again. This time we'll just tap it over for now. Adena keeping it alive. Here's a free ball by the Warriors. Set right down the middle to Detweiler, nearly blocked by Day, but Unioto will come away with the point.
Great job of Unioto going with pace. She had Townsend on the diving effort, and she was getting back up, trying to get back in position to block. And because Unioto went quick, they were able to get a little bit of an advantage at the net.
Stewart back to serve for Unioto. There's a set from Bossert. We'll have a touch violation on the Warriors. 15-6 lead for Adena here in set 2. Service error on Jade Stewart. Hand things back over to Adena.
Stewart's an outstanding talent in our league, and she's been a little quiet here in the early going. I think sometimes, don't you think in sports when you're balanced, sometimes that kind of makes it hard to get everybody going a little bit.
A back set from Bossert to Townsend, blocked at the net. Give the point to Unioto.
The point I was making is, in basketball sometimes if you have that team that's balanced, that you get certain people hot in the early going or whatever, it doesn't always allow everybody some of those same opportunities to get going. It's harder to get settled into the match.
Set from Bossert, tip over by Preston. Free ball from Unioto. Down the middle, Preston once again blocked at the net by Park and Cutright to the outside. Townsend looking to tap it over, dug up by Cutright. Back set to Stoley is blocked at the net. That's Townsend and Preston at the net, blocking it for Adena. 17-7 lead for the Warriors.
Well done by Preston. We had so many net violations in the first set. That time, if you notice, we have a great seat up here to see this. She was able to extend the hands out over the net and really play the ball and stay out of the net.
Serve from Kruger, extremely tight to the net and cannot get over. And things back over to Unioto, 17-8.
That's what I was saying with Kruger earlier. I would compare it to maybe a pitcher changing speeds in softball or baseball. She'll get with a little float, little short serve, and then she'll hammer one deep. That time just caught the net.
Set from Townsend to the outside. Burns' shot is long. Lead is down to 8.
Yeah, Katie just unable to really finish that one off there a little bit. Caught her a little bit off balance and sells long.
Second serve from Wetzel. Down the middle, a strong attempt from Preston is blocked at the net by Unioto. Free ball for the Warriors. There's a set from Wetzel. It is tipped over by Park. The roll shot from Cutright. This one extremely close, will be long.
Really good effort on both sides. I thought Park made a great defensive play there at the net in the middle of that, but to Adena's credit, they kept coming, and then Cutright had a pretty good look at it, just barely off the back line.
Townsend back to serve, overpass from Daniels, tipped over by Park, and she'll get the kill for Unioto.
I would say Adena would like to have that one back. Get Townsend with a really good serve. They get the overpass, and then Adena just unable to control the ball on its side to go back on the attack.
Here's a set from Townsend, a back set to Preston.
Wow.
Gets the kill and has the Warriors a 19-10 lead.
Just good volleyball the way around there. Great pass from Balsert and then Townsend and Preston. Man, when they get on the same page on that quick action, the block just doesn't have time to get there.
Have a timeout, Unioto. 19-10 lead here in set 2 for the Warriors. A 25-20 set 1 win for Unioto.
You know, momentum's a funny thing in sports, and volleyball probably more so than any other sport that I cover. You can almost see it in their body language, can't you, with the teams? You know, I mean, obviously it's easier to have better body language when you're winning, but it's a situation where you'll see in the first set. I thought I saw a little bit in Adena becoming a little bit lethargic as things were going against them, and now you see it a little bit with Unioto. It's funny to watch Lady Mo work herself back and forth there.
Well, I do think you made a good point earlier about the. You kind of restart every set. It's not you fall down 2 sets, and let's say you lost by 10 in the first set and 5 in the second set. You're not down 15, you're down 2 sets. I mean, it's match play. I mean, it would be the same thing in basketball if you played 5 quarters and it was who can win the most quarters.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, really, it's human nature, too, in sports. I don't care if we're talking high school all the way up to professional. You'll see it happen in an NBA series or so forth. It's just human nature. You just got to find a way to be solid all the time. Just off that back line, I think, there.
Lead back down to 8 for Adena. Park back to serve for Unioto. Received by Bossert, set from Townsend. Here's Burns on the kill, and she'll get it to fall.
Nice job there by Townsend. Able to come off the net there a little bit and play low under the ball and get that up to give her hitter a chance.
Sauer serve on the way, received by Miller. Set to the near line, that's Detweiler tipping it over with the right hand all the way over to Kruger with the kill for the Warriors.
I mentioned early in the match, Kruger's one that probably gets, and these stats are early, it's a small sample size, but she gets more, probably the 4th most swings maybe or so, but if you look at the efficiency numbers, she really, really capitalizes on her opportunities.
Back set to Marshall. This one is close, and it'll be marked in. Give the kill to Abby Marshall. 21-12 lead for Adena.
Marshall, a nice 3-sport athlete for the Lady Shermans. Certainly has a little bit of all the skill set across volleyball. She did some setting last year for Unioto. This year doing a little bit more hitting and blocking.
Set to the outside. That's Kruger. Big swing on the far line. 22-12.
Dena's starting to find things at that pace. Again, as you're watching from the camera angle here, really pay attention to Unioto. Unioto can put up a big block when it gets there on time, but Adena's pace is really keeping the defense off balance.
Bossert to serve for Adena, leading by 12. This one catches a piece of the basketball backboard that is put up. Tough break for Unioto, now trailing by 11.
It was good effort from Daniels, and like you called it correctly there, dude. Just the ricochet cost her.
There's a back set from Spett to Stewart, dug up by Kruger. Down the middle, that's Day. Big swing blocked by Unioto. Another block by the Shermans, this time on Kruger, all the way over to Townsend, who will look to tip it over. It'll just trickle over to Unioto's side, set over to Stewart. This one tipped by Day, and nobody able to come up with it after the block. Point goes to Unioto.
Much better effort from Unioto than that. You saw 2 blocks in play, then you see a third touch, and then it leads to getting one of your best hitters in open net on the outside. Really nice job by the Unioto front row.
Kruger will set it up to the far side to Townsend. Tipped over by Day. It is out of play.
Again, a good touch at the net. Adena trying to make a play there, and you go. But again, that's all made possible because your defense is just more active. I don't know that Unioto is going to win this set, but sometimes those things can start to carry over into the next set.
Here's a set from Bossert. Kruger on a big swing, blocked at the net by Cutright and Detweiler. Kill attempt from Townsend is in the net. 23-15 lead for Adena. Stewart back to serve. Kruger with a pass to the far side. Roll shot from Townsend. Here's a free ball from Unioto. Down the middle, Day, a big swing. Catches a piece of the net, also blocked by Unioto. Here's a shot from Townsend, kept alive by Daniels, all the way over to Cutright. Big swing. Kept alive by Adena on the second touch, flips it over. Back set from Spett. Over to Stully, kept alive by Adena. Long volley here from both teams. Townsend a roll shot. And a 24-15 lead.
Chance for Adena to even things up here in the match. You know, as we said in the pregame, we felt like we'd be here a while tonight. Maybe a 4 or 5 setter, just as we've seen in the league play early in the year.
On the second touch, a flip over by Spett. Kruger able to get the kill and win the set for the Warriors, 25-15.
Kruger really coming alive in that second set. Much needed for Adena. We're tied at 1.
We'll take a quick break. Adena a 25-15 set 2 win. That ties it up at 1 set apiece. You're watching Ohio High School Volleyball on Southern Ohio Sports Authority, presented by OhioHealth.
See everything Southern Ohio Sports Authority presented by OhioHealth has to offer by visiting our website at SOSAOhio.com for complete coverage of area athletes and teams, including game stories, features, live streams of games, player and coach interviews, nightly scores, area standings, and much more. You can even view and purchase action photos from our more than 100 galleries. That's SOSAOhio.com for the best local sports coverage around.
Are you in a bind and need an oil change right now? No problem. Did you forget to make an appointment? No problem. Just stop by any Glockner location and we'll squeeze you in and get you on the road quickly. Really, it's
a 25-15 set 2 win for Adena has this thing tied up at 1 set apiece. Shane, what did you see there from Adena that differed from their set 1 performance?
You know, it's probably true for both teams. I was just thinking there on the break. I know these kids play a ton of volleyball year round, and when you grow up and you're in your club and different things, and you probably do play some different positions, but I think as kids make some position changes, even though you might be an experienced player, I think there's a transition that goes there. It's kind of like in baseball or softball scenario. Maybe you have that kid who is an outstanding shortstop, but you need he or she to catch on that particular team that year. Hey, you're going to need them to pitch a little bit more, or maybe the wide receiver is forced to make a quarterback transition or whatever it may be. And I think that's what you're seeing early in the year with some of these teams. Even though there's a lot of names that are very familiar to the fans, there's a situation as you start to move some pieces around. You still see the volleyball talent. You see all the volleyball skill sets, but you don't see some of the timing, some of the chemistry yet. And I think that's why in sports we talk about if you're going to get a team like Adena or Unioto, you probably have to get them early. Because I think when you watch these two teams play a month from now, they're going to go to a whole different level. And they're already very good right here in front of us tonight. So imagine where it's going to be here in the next month or so.
25-20 set one win for the Shermans. Adena comes back in set two, takes it 25-15. Set three moments away here from Adena High School.
While we have a second, I know that you're going to be calling a lot of football throughout the year. Any thoughts on some of our SVC listeners here on SOSA tonight? Thoughts on SVC football in terms of what you're looking at going into the year?
Well, if I had to pick a top three, I'd say Unioto, Paint Valley, Zane, Trace. We'll get back to that here once we get a second. Serve from Bossert here in set three is dug up by Daniels. Here's a big swing from Cutright. It's blocked at the net.
Love when Unioto gives her the opportunity, her and Stewart both. I love when they give them the chance to get off the net a little bit. Let them get outside ready to hit. Don't get them so tight to the net where the big block plays such a factor.
Serve from Wetzel. Here's a set from Bossert. Townsend nearly has the kill, and eventually she will.
Almost the same thing I just said there. Again, with Townsend moving to the outside as a hitter this year, if they're going to use her out there, that's how I like to see them use her. Get her off the net there, let her volleyball instincts and skills tool the block or look for some different angles.
Kruger on the serve for the Warriors. Attempted roll shot from Marshall, can't make it over the net. 2-1 Adena.
We'll pay attention here to some of the types of serving Kruger has been using. She was one that was mixing it up earlier.
Tight serve from Kruger, dug up by West. Shot over from Cutright, able to find a hole in the defense, 2-2.
Give West a lot of credit there. That was a good serve. I thought Kruger hit a good one, and West was right on target with her pass, and Unioto gets the point as a result.
Cutright to serve for Unioto. Townsend to the outside, that's Burns, dug up by Daniels. Down the middle, Park, a nice swing, kept alive by Adena. Here's Burns once again. Daniels with the dig, set over to the near line to Stewart, another dig for Bossert. One blocked at the net, kept alive by Adena, all the way over to Burns once again. This time gets it to fall.
Good volleyball all the way around. We talked about it early in the set. We felt like both teams would settle in, the butterflies would go away, and the volleyball would improve, and we're starting to see signs of that. Here in recent play, we've seen some of our best volleyball tonight.
3-2 lead for the Warriors here in set three. Townsend to serve. Overpass from Stewart. There's a free ball from the Warriors. Set right down the middle to Park, kept alive by Bossert to the outside to McFerrin. She'll tip it over. Here's Marshall on the second touch, able to find a gap, and the Warrior defense tied up at 3.
Give Bossert a lot of credit keeping that ball alive early, but then Adena not able to capitalize, and Unioto coming back and finding a hole in that back corner.
Daniels to serve for Unioto, received by Bossert. Outside, McFerrin, a big kill attempt. Daniels with the dig for Unioto now. Stewart on the other side. This one is out of bounds. Point will go to Adena.
Still a good sign for Unioto here. Stewart's had some of her biggest swing opportunities in the last 2 or 3 attacks. They really need to get her going. She can really take over sections of a match.
Back set from Wetzel to Marshall. Dig by Townsend on the other side. Right down the middle, Dave is able to get the kill for Adena.
Yeah, had the tip at the net. Again, the block just just a hair off, and Day's able to take advantage there in terms of with her size, almost just hit it off the top of the block.
5-3 lead for Adena now, 6-3 on the miss hit by Unioto.
One of the rare times Stewart hits out of the middle, they take that first ball over, and you'll see them do that right here again. If that ball would go back overdue, what would happen is Stewart would come outside, Detweiler would go inside, but on that first ball over, Stewart hitting in the middle there, probably a little bit out of her comfort zone in comparison to hitting on the outside.
Spett to serve for Unioto, trailing by 2 here in set 3. Here's a roll shot from Stully. Nice dig from Townsend. Overpass is tipped back over by Unioto. That's Stully. I believe Detweiler was in there as well. Lead is now cut down to 1.
Yeah, they were both there. Give Stully a lot of credit there. A good swing. Leads the overpass. She immediately transitions right into her defensive spot.
Townsend is set to the far line. Down the far line, it's Day. This one kept alive by Unioto. Roll shot by Stewart. Another set by Townsend. This time it'll be Burns on the near line. Now Day going to give it a swing. Spett with the dig. Stewart a roll shot, kept alive by McFerrin. Backs at a two-handed tap over. Here's a free ball by Unioto. It'll be out of bounds. Point goes to Adena.
Again, I like the effort. I continue to say that the level of volleyball really picking up here. Give Miller a nice dig. Give Speck a nice dig. Had a good touch at the net. Adena just kind of stays with it, and eventually the ball goes wide. Adena wins the point.
Sowers to serve for the Warriors. Here's a free ball from Stully. Nearly finds a gap in the Warrior defense, and eventually a touch violation will be called on Adena, so we give the point to Unioto now, trailing 7-6.
Miscommunication there. The setter thought that the back row player was going to come up and play the free ball, and they were kind of late communicating.
Miscommunication for the Warriors. It looked like Day and Bossert weren't on the same page. Give the point to Unioto, all tied up at 7. Stewart on the serve for Unioto. Nearly an overpass. It looked like Townsend was trying to get it back to their side. Wasn't able to do so. 8-7 lead for Unioto.
Good serve. Unioto back up in front 8-7. Big opportunity here for Unioto. They haven't had the momentum in this match for a while now.
Here's Kruger fading away. Dig up by Daniels. Now cut right on the other side. Blocked at the net. Unioto able to stay alive here. Here's Stully with a tap over. And that'll get the point for Unioto.
Nice job in the 6-2 attack. The idea is to get 3 hitters going. I was just talking the other day about how it's so hard in sports to get kids to go hard when they don't think they're getting the ball. But, man, it's so important because it really keeps the defense honest.
What a play there by Bossert. Just a big swing over from the middle, able to find a gap in the defense, just trickle it over to the net. Lead now down to 1 for Unioto. Bossert to serve, received by Daniels. Here's a set from Spett to the near line. That's cut right, dug by Sowers. This one close to the net. Kruger running out of space. Give the point to Unioto.
Yeah, just didn't have a whole lot of options on where to go with that one. Unioto all of a sudden up 2 with an opportunity to get a little bit of control of this third set.
Down the middle, it's Corinne Day able to get the kill for the Warriors. Lead back down to 1.
Can't say enough about how good the middle play is here tonight. Adena probably a little bit more on the offensive side, but Park's one of the great defenders at the net in our league, and Detweiler as well. So you're seeing some good middle play here tonight.
Park with a kill shot, gets it to fall in.
Again, as I said earlier, that time Park swinging from the outside on that first ball over. Again, if that doesn't result in the point, she would transition to her middle spot, but she gets a chance to swing outside, gets a kill.
Down the middle here is Preston. This one is out of play. Lead now up to 3.
Right idea. Again, West does a nice job of getting all the way over the line and seeing the ball out of bounds.
Have a timeout for the Warriors, trailing 12-9 here in set 3. Each team with a set apiece. Unioto 25-20 in set 1 for Adena, 25-15 in set 2. Now a 12-9 lead for Unioto here in set 3.
Oh, going back there, I had my notes there to ask you, and I think you were cut off when the third set started. You were talking a little SVC football with us.
Well, I think in the eye of the public, at least from what I have heard, it's a lot of, is it going to be Unioto or is it going to be Zane Trace? And if you had a chance to check out the SOSA Overtime podcast presented by McDonald's, I made mention it's kind of everybody forgets that Paint Valley is still there. And I made note that they've been winning gold balls forever, and they've been making the playoffs since it was set back to 4 teams. And I don't want to say I'm picking Paint Valley to win the league, but I definitely think they're a team that everybody's kind of been overlooking a little bit.
I think you say the same thing about Piketon even. Like they have some talent.
Townsend with a roll shot. It's dug up by Cutright, who will hit it over for Unioto. Now out to Kruger coming down the line. Set right down the middle. Park with a big swing. Adena able to keep it alive. Here's Kruger on the other side. Blocked at the net by Park. Back set to Marshall on the right side. Dig from Sowers. Now Townsend all the way to the back row. Set from Townsend. Here's Kruger. Another try and nearly gets it to fall. Cut right there with the dig. Marshall will tap it over with 2 hands. Another swing for Unioto. That time, Cutright with the left hand.
Again, the level of volleyball picking up all the way around, and that time, give Cutright credit, going to the left hand where the set was a little tight to the net, and she's able to do what she had to do to get the kill.
Lead now up to 5 for Unioto.
See it so many times. The team wins a long rally, and then they come back off the service game, and all of a sudden, what was 12-9 is 14-9.
Service error from Wetzel has Adena now in double digits, 14-10 lead for the Shermans. Kruger to serve for the Warriors. The outside on the right side, that's Cutright. Attempt is in the net.
Again, nice job by Adena recognizing that Cutright on that first ball over is going to be on the weak side, and the block stayed true and was able to force the hitting there.
Service error from Kruger turns it right back over to Unioto, now leading 15-11 here in set 3. Cutright to serve. Townsend with a back set to Preston. This one is long of the back line.
Not quite the timing they were wanting. Preston was trying to adjust and go deep, and it just went long on her. Just again, the timing is just a speck off.
Ace for Cutright has Unioto out in front by 6. Townsend with a set to the far line. That's Burns. It's blocked at the net by Park. 18-11 Unioto.
I highlighted it. One of the elite, if not the elite, net defenders in our league. Park with a great play there, and Unioto knocking on the door of a 2-1 lead here.
A timeout, Adena trailing by 8 here in set 3, 19-11 for Unioto.
I go back to that rally out of the timeout. What was it, 12-9? we had some really good volleyball back and forth. Unioto was able to win the point, and then right off of that, come back with a quick service miscue from Adena there where they had the nice serve and went to 14-9, and just you could start to feel the momentum slowly and surely going Unioto's way. And here we are at 19-11. So as you see so many times in these big volleyball matches, all Unioto in the first set, all Adena in the second set. The third set was kind of some of the best volleyball we were starting to see back and forth. Unioto makes the key play, spurts out, and here we are at 19-11. Obviously when it's 1-1, the third set becomes huge, for the obvious reason of going up 2-1, but really just in terms of taking control of the match. And it guarantees you a fifth set at worst, and it really puts a lot of pressure on the Adena team going into the fourth set.
Here's Townsend with a set to Burns, and she'll get the kill.
Tough call on that back row there if you let that one fly. You'll hear some people say about shoulder high, let it fly. And that was real close to maybe selling long if they would have let it go.
Tight serve from Townsend, able to get the ace for the Warriors. Lead is now down to 6.
Second match in a row where Grace Townsend's had a really nice serve working.
19-13 lead here for Unioto. Townsend serve on the way, a service error for the Warriors.
You can say it. I did it again. Apologize to Grace.
Morgan Daniels now serving back-to-back service errors, this time for Unioto.
Well, and really one of the that's kind of a weird scenario where you have two of the really good servers in our league and they trade service errors.
Set to the near line. Detweiler tips it over with the right hand. With a touch violation on the Warriors. Unioto now leads by 7.
That's all a result in the serve receive where you're forced to have other people handling the ball there, and it just caught up with them. And look, I like the way the up officials calling tonight's match, because I think that's the way the game is called into the district and regional tournament.
On the right side, that's Katie Burns with the kill for the Warriors. Lead back down to 6.
I just think Burns is going to be one of the real breakout stars. I think she's just about 9-10 matches under her belt this year, and just her sophomore year. I think she's going to be terrific.
Here's Unioto leading by 6. Stully blocked at the net. Stully going to give it another swing. This time it is long of the back net. Oh, have a tip at the net for Adena. Gives the point to Unioto off the tip.
Big swing from Stully. The first time blocked in play, went back to her. The ball sails long, but the up official right there in front of him had a touch. Point Unioto.
Stewart to serve for the Shermans, received by Sowers. At the net, a miscue for the Warriors. Lead now up to 8. Stewart serve on the way. Here's a set to the far side to Kruger, dug up by Daniels. Now here's Stully tapping it over with the right hand. On the second touch, Townsend looking to find a gap in the back row, kept alive by Unioto, but will have a touch violation on the Shermans.
(23-16), probably one last opportunity for Adena here, but they're going to have to go right now.
Brenna Bossert back to serve. Here's a back set from Spett to Sully. Off the block, Detweiler able to get it back over for Unioto. Now here's cut right on the near line, gets the kill.
It's where she's at her best. Again, what you're looking for there is that angle. When she gets off the net, gets outside a little bit, it just opens up so many options for her. She's one of the real experienced hitters in our league, and really delivered and has her team knocking on the door of this third set win.
Serve from Detweiler, kept alive by Adena, but the kill attempt from Corinne Day is off the mark. A 25-16 set 3 win. Unioto leads 2-1 heading into set 4. We'll take a quick break. You're watching Ohio High School Volleyball on Southern Ohio Sports Authority, presented by OhioHealth.
Michelle and her dad. Decades of dares. 1 month of learning to jump. First day doing it solo. And 2 years since starting cancer treatment at OhioHealth.
This broadcast is brought to you in part by Willie & Son Trucking. Willie & Son Trucking has been a proud supporter of local student-athletes, coaches, and athletic programs throughout its history. Be sure to look out for the Shack Athlete of the Week, presented by Willie & Son Trucking, each week at SOSA.
After tomorrow night, Paint Valley opens league play, and I don't know what order it is. It's like Southeastern Westfall Adena, and then it goes like Piketon, Huntington, and then their Unioto St. Trace games are 9-10.
A 25-16 set 3 win for Unioto has them a set away from taking this first meeting with Adena here in 2023. Second league matchup for both of these schools for Unioto, a 3-2 win over Westfall on Tuesday. Also on Tuesday, Adena 3-1 winners over Southeastern.
I think the biggest thing that's just jumped out to me tonight is the team that's able to play themselves out of the valley quickly. You know, you're always going to have the ups and downs, but as it starts to get away from you, who's able to withstand the storm and stay in the set? We've had too many opportunities for some teams to answer tonight, and they haven't been able to. And that's where, when you think of teams this talented doing, and you're looking at like 25-15 on the one side, then the other team 25-16, that's something that I don't know will happen as much later in the year, because I think so much of it comes for some chemistry, some timing, working some different things out in certain rotations. The thing I'll say about Unioto is that they have so much depth that they can come at you in some way in all 6 rotations. A lot of volleyball teams, no matter how good they are, they always have the 1, maybe 2 rotations that they have trouble getting out of, so to speak. They'll have a weakness at the net, or they'll have a weakness in the back row. Unioto has enough pieces to where even when they don't blow you away, they're very solid. You know, they're always going to have a hitting option at the net. They're always going to have a chance to put up a big block. They're always going to have a solid passer. And that's what's probably impressed me the most about this Unioto team as I've evaluated them in the preseason to now.
Set 4 underway on the Daniel serve. And Unioto going to start things off 1-0 off the ace for Morgan Daniels.
Coach Hutton will go to Daniels as the first server pretty much every set. I watched in a set number 3 at Chillicothe her roll off a 16-0 advantage to flip that match in a hurry. And here she goes, 2-0.
Back-to-back aces for Daniels has Unioto out in front, 2-0 here in set 4.
You asked me about the lefty in the pre-match discussion, and certainly at the net I think it's a factor. I'll be honest, on the serve, I don't know if it is or not. I guess it depends on what type of action she's able to create.
Free ball from the Warriors, set right down the middle to Park. Nearly has the kill, kept alive by Bossert. Roll shot from Townsend. To the near line, that's cut right. Dig from Cameron Sowers. Now Townsend on the other side. Nice dig from Daniels. Pass over to cut right. Here's a free ball, and it'll be out of play. First point of the match first point of the set for Adena.
Obviously, Ella would like to have that one back. You know, you never want to have to free ball over, but you certainly don't want to free ball out of bounds.
Kruger to serve for the Warriors. Tied to the net, West goes down to get it up. Here's another free ball from Cutright. Set to the far side to Burns. Tipped over on the second touch by Wetzel, kept alive by Adena. Give the kill to Brinley Preston.
One of the few times you'll get Park late to the block there, and Preston able to take advantage.
Tied up at 2 apiece here in set 4. Kruger to serve. Miscued by the Shermans. West able to get it over on the free ball to the outside. That's Townsend, digged by Unioto. This one tipped back down at the net by Preston. 3-2 lead for the Warriors.
Right idea on the second ball. I think she was trying to pop it up to give a hitter a chance still. You know, sometimes just better off to cut your losses and play on.
To the outside, cut right with the left hand, gets the kill.
Again, a lot of times when you see her go to that left, that's not what she's wanting to do. What happens is the set's getting a little tight to the net from what I'm observing, and it's forcing her to reach out with the left hand and make the adjustment. To her credit, making a real nice play with the lefty.
Townsend is set to the far side. That's Burns looking for the kill, kept alive by Unioto. Burns going to give it another go, this time blocked at the net by Park, and Marshall who will come away with the point for Unioto.
If you like defensive net play, as I've said, you'll love to watch Park at the net. Not only does she play hard with great size, she does such a good job of staying out of the net. You'll see her extend the hands over the net.
Another ace for Unioto, this time Madeline Wetzel.
I think Wetzel would come into the match serving 100%. She had a couple rough ones there earlier on, but maybe she can get something going here with her service game.
Free ball from the Warriors. Big swing from Marshall, blocked at the net by Adena. To the other side, cut right, gonna give it a go. It's blocked by Townsend.
Great effort for Preston to get all the way out there. You know, a lot of times with Preston in the middle, Townsend on the outside, you'll try to pick on the smaller Townsend. Grace gets a nice block up. Preston coming out there to take away the middle as well. Really, really nice job.
Down the middle, Park trying to tip it over. Brindley Preston not going to let it happen. Tied up at 5.
Not much you can do when the ball gets that tight, and give Preston credit going up with 2 hands and staying out of the net.
Serve from Townsend on the way, received by Daniels. Here's a set by Unioto, blocked at the net. All the way to the other side, that's McFerrin, who's blocked by Unioto. Abby Marshall and Park in on the block.
McFerrin, a 5'8" junior. I think just, again, another Adena hitter that when you watch this team a month from now, you're going to see a much improved player, has a lot of potential.
Here's Stewart on a big swing at the far line. Now McFerrin going to give it a go, blocked the net by Marshall.
Can't say enough. You can really break it down to as simple as when Adena's able to go in system, go with speed, then they can avoid the size. If not, Unioto's been a factor at the net.
Here's a back set from Townsend. Preston gets it over on the roll shot for Adena on the second touch. Marshall right down the middle. Preston, a big swing. Nice dig from Wetzel. Have a touch violation on Unioto, lead down to 1.
Setter was forced to take the first ball there in her defensive spot. Marshall had stepped in. Very, very capable. Obviously did some setting a year ago and just happened to have a little bit of a miss hit.
Here's Stewart, a big swing. Dig by Howard. Miss hit there from McFerrin. Eight to 6, Unioto lead. Here's a set from Townsend. We'll have a touch violation. That'll give Unioto a 3-point lead at 9 to 6.
You know, in a lot of situations, you know, Park goes back to serve. You think, okay, she's off the net, but then you bring someone like Detweiler in. That's a really nice middle hitter and blocker as well.
Townsend a back set. There's Preston, a big swing. It's long. Excuse me, that was Katie Burns. Long in the back line, 10 to 6 lead for Unioto.
Danger time for the Touche Blue here. Down 10-6, already down 2-1 in the match. Really need a good serve receive here. Park showing off a little bit of the all-around game. We know how good she is at the net. The serves kind of flipped some things here.
Timeout, Adena trailing 11-6 here in set number 4.
Now that look you're giving me, are you blaming the serve receive on me as well? That's harsh.
If you're just now tuning in, 25-20 set 1 win for Unioto. Adena comes back 25-15 in set 2. Most recently, Unioto winners in set 3, 25-16, and currently leading set 4, 11-6.
The SVC settles into its normal Tuesday, Thursday format, some non-league action. On the weekends, usually not a lot of teams love a Monday or a Wednesday non-league because it just makes for a busy week. They'll try to stick a lot of the non-league there on the weekends from this point on.
To the outside, Day, miss hit on the kill attempt, give the point to Unioto. Park back to serve. Here's a set from Townsend over to Day. A big swing, finds a gap. Adena finally able to stop the Unioto run.
Yeah, just a big swing from a momentum standpoint. Get Park off the line there. Get the serve back on your side. 12-7, you still have plenty of time, but that was on the verge of getting away from you there.
Adena now trailing by 5. Here's a pass from Daniels, roll shot from Detweiler. To the outside, here's Kruger looking for the kill, gets it to go.
Starts with a good deep serve. Unioto never really to get on any type of attack, which allows Adena to come back quickly, and a good swing from Kruger on the outside. Adena within 4.
Received by Miller, here's a pass from Wetzel. Kept alive by Adena, out to Kruger on the left side. A big swing, this one caught up in the divider, hanging at the rafters. Ball remains in play down the middle. Day, another big swing. This time, Unioto not going to get to it.
Like what I see from Day. A couple big swings here. It was, 12-6? She had the big swing to kind of get Park off the line, we said. Now another one here, and all of a sudden, 12-9, Adena threatening to get right back in this thing.
Tight serve from the Warriors. Here's a free ball from Unioto. To the outside, Kruger again, this time long of the back line. That'll hand things back over to the Shermans.
Right idea. Again, good serve, free ball over. Fairly open net and just unable to sneak it inside the line. Sells long on her.
13-9 lead for the Shermans. Spet back to serve. Here's a set from Townsend right down the middle today. Nice dig from Miller. Here's a free ball from Stully. Another big swing from Day. This one way long of the back line.
Just an outstanding play from senior Megan Miller. Megan would probably be a libero on a lot of teams. It's just that Unioto depth across the back row. Megan does a super job and really, really impacted that point there.
To the outside, Kruger blocked at the net by Stully and Detweiler. Big block there for Unioto.
Highlighted it all night. Detweiler, Stully, Park, just the sides across the net when they're able to put up the block. Adena's got to be able to play quick so they can move away from it.
Down the middle, Day blocked at the net. Called for a net violation. Hand the point to Unioto.
I think they were saying it did not touch the block, that it went into the net, which makes it the 4 contact. I think it's what I saw the up official signal.
Here's a roll shot from Kruger, nearly falls down, dug up by Stewart. Of a touch violation on Unioto. Adena now in double digits at 16-10.
been very consistent in the way it's been called all night. And again, I'm in favor of that because I think that helps both these teams prepare for what they want to do later in the year.
Down the middle, here's Detweiler with a quick tap over, kept alive by Adena. Big swing from Kruger, blocked at the net, a pass over on the second touch. Here's Kruger once again on the far line. This time she gets the kill.
Kruger continues to swing on the outside. Adena still in the shouting distance here at 16-11, but they got to get it cut in before we get any deeper into the set.
Kill attempt from Stewart, blocked at the net. Here's Stoley with a kill attempt, and she gets it to go. 17-11 lead for the Shermans here in set 4.
The block was there. That's just an example where you got to be able to get the hands out over the net, or the hard swing sometimes can sneak that ball down inside.
Serve from Stewart on the way down the middle. Here's Day, a big swing long of the back line.
I believe the line judge has a tip here, which is going to flip this to Adena's way. So the line judge has a tip. Wow, I'll be honest. Since they've gone to the different officials on the line, rarely do you not see them go with their call. He's pretty adamant that there's a tip.
It'll be a tip on Unioto. That'll hand the point to Adena now, 17-12. Brooke Bossert back to serve. Serve is on the way, received by Daniels. Here's a set from Sped down the middle. It's Detweiler, gets the kill. (18-12).
Another great opportunity for Unioto. They grabbed control of this right there in the middle of the set. Adena's got it back, to 4 a couple times maybe? That's about as close they've been in a while.
Set from Bossert to the outside. Townsend long of the back line. Lead is now up to 7 at 19-12.
Unioto with one of the best servers back on the line, up 19-12, a real opportunity to close this thing out.
Here's a roll shot from Preston, dug up by Daniels. Set to the outside, Stoley, a nice over-the-shoulder roll shot. Kept alive by Unioto. Here's Cutright on the near line. Now Townsend, another attempt. This time she'll get the kill.
Good volleyball all the way around. Been real impressed with Daniels in the back row for Unioto, and keeps the play alive momentarily, but then Townsend able to get a look on the outside, or I should say backside, and create the kill.
19-13 lead for the Shermans. Kruger to serve for the Warriors. Speda serve right down the middle to Cutright with the left hand. 20-13 lead.
Another use of the lefty, and she does go to that a lot more than I expected to see her do it, but it's kind of an effective offset, in terms of when the block's there.
Set to the outside, that's Burns on a big swing. This one called in. Give Katie Burns the kill. Lead is now down to 6.
Going down the line there, Coach Hutton felt like the ball was out. Line judge disagreed, so we'll go 20-14. Adena back to serve.
Service error for Townsend will hand it right back over to Unioto, 21-14.
Cutright goes back to serve. That puts Stewart back in on the front row.
Nearly an ace for Cutright. Ball is being tipped around. Free ball from Bossert. Set right down the middle. Park, a big swing. This one nearly getting away from the Warriors. As of now, being kept alive, but not for long. Give Park the kill.
Great effort from Bosser, just unable to keep it off the floor, and 22-14 is Unioto knocking on the door of a big, big win here early in the year in SVC play. Timeout, Adena.
Timeout for the Warriors, trailing 22-14 here in set 4.
Upcoming schedule-wise, I know tomorrow night you mentioned the football game. Anything else that's set for SOSA at this point, or still wait and see going into next week?
In terms of live streaming?
Yeah.
Well, I know we were looking week 4 at Circleville at Logan Elm, the old backyard brawl, although I think those plans may have been scrapped a little bit with how strong Logan Elm has looked this season, so I don't think anything is set in stone quite yet for next week. (22-14) cut right to serve for Unioto. Tip over by Preston, kept alive by Daniels. Back setting to Marshall.
I think Wetzel went over the line when she tried to stay out of the net. She did a good job hustling to get up to the second ball there, but just unable to keep her foot from going all the way over.
22-15 Unioto. Set right down the middle of the park, tips it over with the right hand, gets the kill.
Not much to that there. The Adena block kind of freezing a little bit. Park had the open net, just basically tipped it right in the middle of the court. 23-15.
Park back to serve for the Shermans. Townsend over on the second touch. Here's Marshall with 2 hands, kept alive by Unioto. Have a touch violation on the Warriors. It's now match point for Unioto.
You can see that ball in the air, and again, when you get an official that goes with the tighter call, again, match to match, just like an umpire in another sport or an official, you just have to adjust to it, and that's been consistent all night.
Townsend is set right down the middle, tipped over by Burns. Here's Stewart on the near line. Blocked initially, kept alive by Day. Day will tip it over with 2 hands. Finds a hole close to the left side. Warriors now trailing by 8. Match point here for the Warriors. Sowers to serve. Here's a back set right down the middle. It's Stewart. Free ball by Kruger. Set right down the middle. Detweiler blocked at the net. Eventually falls in. The Shermans take it in 4.
Great job by Unioto to come on the road this early in the year and take the first round matchup. Really puts them in the driver's seat. Long way to go, but again, to come on the road and get that one tonight in 4, very, very impressive.
We'll take a quick break. You're watching Ohio High School Volleyball on Southern Ohio Sports Authority, presented by OhioHealth.
There's not a Par Mar store near you now, there will be soon. That's the slogan, and that's what we believe at Par Mar stores. From groceries to gas and all the other stuff you need, Par Mar has it. Download the Par Mar app for even more savings, and don't forget the Par Mar rewards card too. We also believe in being a big part of your community, so look for us at the ball game or wherever you are. Shop us today, like us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and remember, if there's not a Par Mar store near you now, there will be soon.
This presentation of high school sports on Southern Ohio Sports Authority is brought to you in part by your local McDonald's. McDonald's proudly supports all area athletes again this season. Visit your local McDonald's in Chillicothe, Circleville, Greenfield, and Waverly, and be sure to check out SOSA's newly relaunched podcast, Overtime, presented by McDonald's.
Unioto takes their second league win, their first over Adena here in 2023 in 4 sets. Winners in the first set, 25-20. Adena takes the second set, 25-15. And then Unioto wins sets 3 and 4, both by a score of 25-16.
As I throughout the summer and into the preseason, you kind of have an idea what you think you're going to see. You get into the season a little bit, some teams doing some different things. You're looking at it and you're trying to get comfortable with what you're watching and different things. And two really, really good teams going at it here early in the year, and Unioto just a little bit better here tonight, and they take control early on. As I said, I thought the volleyball got a lot better as the night went on. I thought I watched some nerves early on. These are two teams, and I would say even more so on the Adena side, that just a month from now, when you watch them play, I think you're going to see some timing, some chemistry, some rhythm, some different things really, really improve. But listen, this Unioto team's really complete. There's just not a lot of holes. They come at you in a lot of different ways at the net. They have good outside hitters, Cutright and Stewart. They're big in the middle. They even have some nice secondary kids on the backside that can provide some offense, provide a nice block. Great depth in the back row. We knew names like Daniels and Miller and Speck coming in. I was even impressed tonight with West and her ability to come in and give them some time in the back row. So just really, really complete effort. Coach Hutton's got to be thrilled to death with the way his kids focused from the start tonight in comparison to the way they had been playing from behind earlier in the year.
So once again, Unioto winners in 4 here by a score of 3-1. Both teams set for invitationals this upcoming Labor Day weekend. For Unioto, they'll host their own invitational at Unioto. For Adena, they'll head to the Lehman Invitational, which we sort of touched on a little bit about the magnitude of the teams that are in those invitationals and how, you kind of referred to it as the first state tournament.
Yeah, it really is. Year in, year out, you see those scores come in, and then, I know I enjoy going to the state tournament later in the year, and I'll be if you don't see a lot of those same teams. And, look, that's what Adena program does. I mean, it always has. It's going to challenge itself in the non-league. And then obviously year in, year out, they're going to be a factor in the league race. This year will be no different. I think the biggest thing for these two teams, and they got a little taste of it Tuesday night, is going to be able to bring the same level of focus throughout the rest of the league. And if nobody else in the league is able to get these two teams, then basically what we're going to have is that rematch at Unioto, and we're going to be looking at a possible gold ball opportunity versus a co-championship. Now, with that said, I'm getting way ahead of myself because it's already been proven to us the other night. You watched Westfall take Unioto to the brink. You watched Southeastern get a set. I've mentioned the talent that I've seen, Huntington and Zane Trace playing a 5-7. So there's a ton of volleyball to still be played, but that is a scenario out there in terms of if these two are able to hold serve. That's what we would be looking forward to later in the year.
So that'll just about do it here from Adena High School. Unioto winners in 4. You've been watching Ohio High School Volleyball with Shane Combs and Dewey Daly right here on Southern Ohio Sports Authority, presented by OhioHealth.